Hey TPT sellers, is it still possible to make money on TPT in 2026? Great question. TPT just published their seller yearbook. Thank you to everyone who filled out the community survey. Based on your responses, I created a mathematical model estimating how much TPT sellers made in 2025 so we could get an idea of how much TPT sellers might make in 2026. If you're trying to get rich quick, you're not going to like this. Most sellers on TPT made under $100 last year. In fact, if you made $10 a month, so $120, you were in the top 77.7% of all active TPT sellers. Want to make 3 figures per month? You'd have to be in the top 93.7%. Want to make 4 figures per month? You'd have to be in the top 98.75% of all sellers to make that estimated $12,000 last year. Now you're wondering, well, how much do I have to make to break into the top 1%? Mathematical modeling shows us that you need to make $15,000 to $16,000 last year. That's when TPT says your store percentile is 99% in the yearbook data. So who's making the real money? If you made it into the top 100, it probably meant your store earnings were around $287,000 last year. Yes, it's still possible to make money on TPT in 2026, but no, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Hi, my name is Mike Fichigami, and I'm the host of the SEOtpreneur YouTube community. Today, we're looking at the TPT Seller Yearbook Survey data. First, I'll explain the methodology so you can decide how accurate these numbers are. Then, I'll compare 2025 results with 2024 results. Finally, I'm going to give you a simple target to help you improve your rank for next year. Make sure to watch to the end because I'll share an infographic that helps you pinpoint where you are now and where you want to go. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on TPT data and TPT SEO videos. Now, where is this data coming from? First, the yearbook survey is not official TPT data. It is a community survey. Sellers shared their rank, their percentile, and how much they earned for last year. The survey was anonymous and the numbers were not verified. I used these answers to build a big picture mathematical model. Because anyone can submit junk, I had to clean the responses. Some entries had human error. For example, they put down store percentile as 1% instead of 99%. Some people rounded their numbers for privacy, and some people submitted fake results. For example, one person said they were the #1 seller, and they made $67,000. Except everyone below that person made way more money. So it's easy to spot the trolls. One check is that rank and percentile increases in a straight, predictable way. So if an entry doesn't fit that pattern, it's easy to spot and remove. The other pattern is that as rank improves, earnings go up as well. So if someone reported earnings that were lower than sellers right around them, I remove that entry. If seller responses are side by side, how do we know which one is correct and which one might be suspicious? We don't. But as we get more survey responses, it's easier to spot patterns and outliers. In 2025, we received 299 survey responses and 201 were usable after cleaning. This is a reliability rate of 67.2%. In the previous year, we received 130 responses, 90 were usable after cleaning, and the reliability rate was around 69.2%. So the survey participants are pretty consistent. After the data is cleaned, we can estimate how many sellers made money that year. We do this by drawing a straight line of best fit across the data. This gives us an estimate of around 244,012 sellers in 2025, which means each percentile is about 2,440 sellers. Now, for the earnings model, we didn't use a best fit line. Instead, we used linear interpolation and extrapolation. This means we estimated earnings by connecting the dots and drawing a straight line between known points. And we estimated earnings beyond the highest points by continuing the straight line. In 2025, we got more survey entries from sellers in the top 100. But to keep things fair and consistent from year to year, we still use the same ranks and estimating method that we used in 2024 for that very top section. So how many survey points do we need to get a good picture of the earnings curve? Great question. The more points we have, the closer we get to the truth. But even with a few points, we can still get a pretty good idea. Think about a curve on a circle. If we only know 2 points, we can draw one straight line between them and guess what the values might be along the way. If we know 3 points, we can draw 2 lines and our guesses get closer to the real curve. If we know 4 points, we can connect more dots and get an even clearer picture. So yes, more points give us better resolution. But do we need every single point to understand the shape of the curve? Not really. Even with just a few points, we can see the overall trend of how much sellers are making. But Mike, the top seller number looks way too low. Yeah, I agree. The top of the chart is definitely underestimated. The point of the yearbook survey isn't to perfectly predict the number one seller. The point is to show the shape of the market and give us a useful benchmark. But Mike, don't you always say you work with clients in the top 100? Don't you already know if these numbers are accurate? Great question. I don't use private client data inside the survey model. I don't even ask my top 100 clients to fill out the survey. I just write about it in my email newsletter. People share the link in Facebook groups, and word gets around. But Mike, I'm in the top 100. If I jump on a call with you and you confirm my earnings, will that help the survey? I'm always happy to talk, but it still doesn't change the methodology of the survey. The yearbook survey is built from anonymous submissions, cleaned for obvious problems, and modeled in a consistent way so we can look for patterns year after year. If you think this is an important video, can you please like the video? It encourages me to make more videos like this one. All right, big picture first. The top seller made an estimated $681,199 in 2025 and an estimated $769,874 in 2024. This is a year-over-year loss of 11.5%, or around $89,000. There are an estimated 244,000 sellers in 2025 and an estimated 234,000 sellers in 2024. So based on the mathematical model, we see a 4.5% year-over-year growth in the number of active sellers. Or another way to put it is, there are around 10,494 more active sellers on TPT last year. If we add up the estimated earnings of everyone in the model, it looks like the total seller earnings in 2025 was $243,588,785. For context, the total seller earnings in 2024 was estimated at $253,960,047. So it looks like there might be a year-over-year drop of 4.1%, which is around $10.4 million. So there's 4.5% more sellers, but the pie is around 4.1% smaller. And since the pie is not evenly distributed, depending on where you are in the curve, you feel things differently. Here's a table showing how much the estimated top 100 made in 2024. And here's how much they're estimated to have made in 2025. That's a loss of around $5.4 million, or a year-over-year loss of 11.1%. So if you're in the top 100 and your sales are down by around 11%, that's typical for your tier on the platform. If your sales are even with last year, then the question you should be wondering is, why are you doing better than your neighbors? Likewise, if your year-over-year loss is more than 11%, the question is why? Which products are doing better and which products are doing disproportionately worse? If you're between rank 101 and 1,000, so the top 1,000 but not including the top 100, then the model estimates a loss of $5.6 million, or a year-over-year loss of 6%. Same question. If you're in the top 1,000 and your sales broke even with last year, even though your peers went down by 6%, the question is why? What are you doing right? If you're in the top 99 percentile, and this includes the top 100 and the top 1,000, we saw estimated sales drop by 12 million, or a year-over-year loss of 6.7%. This means if you were in the 99th percentile last year, and again in the 99th percentile this year, the platform had a 6.7% loss. If your loss was only 5% year over year with last year, you're actually doing better than your peers. I wonder why. And then the table continues with year over year changes down to the 80th percentile. So I thought this might be useful. If your store percentile didn't change between 2024 and 2025, this might give you an idea of how other people in your percentile rank did in terms of annual earnings. If you want this data in an infographic format, can you please leave a comment? Store rank is nice, but what we really need to figure out is what to do with this information step by step. Now let's turn this into action. I'm going to use your 2025 earnings to define some lanes. The starting lane is if you're under $100 for the year. The building lane is if you made around $100 to $1,000 per month last year. The scaling up lane is $12,000 per year and up. And then inside scaling up, there are boss levels like the top 1,000 and the top 100. Step one is to figure out your lane. If you're in starting, you need traction. If you're in building or scaling up, the way we level up is not to work harder, it's to follow the money. This might mean creating a certain type of product that has a disproportionately high earnings per week, or It might mean to fix the right products first using real data. That's what we do inside of BOOTCAMP, and I'll come back to that later. Step 2 is to aim at the next rung in the ladder. Find out where you are on the yearbook ladder and pick the next percentile above you. If you're already in the top 1%, awesome. Your next rung is one of those tiny boss steps, like 1/10 of a percentile at a time. That's how you make progress. If you're in the top 99th percentile, here's how to find your exact percentile with decimals. First, take your annual rank from the 2025 yearbook and divide it by 244,012. For example, my rank was 2,335. So I do 2,335 divided by 244,012. Next, take 1 and subtract that number. Now turn it into a percent by multiplying by 100. This means that I'm in the top 99.0th percentile. My next goal would be to try to reach the top 99.1 percentile. If math isn't your thing, check the video description for a link to an online calculator that will do this for you. Step 3 is to treat the yearbook like an annual report card. It's useful because it tells us where we are, but it doesn't tell us what to fix. So now we need a monthly game plan. If you're in the starting lane, your job is to follow the money. Look at your seller dashboard and look at this quarter or last quarter. Look at your top products and what patterns do you notice. Then make more of what's working. This might mean making the next seasonal resource in a product line. I know this feels like we're throwing spaghetti at the wall, and we are. At the start, we're just trying to figure out what works in your store. If you're in the building lane, use your dashboard like a calendar. Look at next month, last year, to predict what's likely to sell next month, this year. Then give those products a quick glow up before the season hits. You're not trying to rebuild your whole store. You're trying to take what already sells and make it easier to find and easier to buy. If you're in the scaling up lane, we need to get surgical. Do a year-over-year check on your former best sellers so you can see what's slipping and fix it on purpose. Look month by month to see the big trend. Then, when you make a change, shift to a week-by-week view to see if that product is moving in the right direction. Step 4 is a 20-minute glow-up, and this is for building and scaling up. TPT Search is powered by Algolia. Algolia uses something called dynamic re-ranking to move products up when people search, click, and buy. So page 1 isn't just who has the keyword or who has the most sales. It's also about who gets chosen. It's a popularity contest. Here are the 5 moves I use to glow up a product when I'm on a call with a client. First, pick one keyword from your product title, the keyword you actually want this product to rank for. Second, check current demand and competition. You can do this for free using my YouTube tutorial. The link is in the video description. Or you can use any keyword tool. If you have my Chrome extension, it can show you live search volume and competition while you browse. Third, check where you rank for that keyword right now. You can just search on TPT, but I like to use the Pro Keyword tool to quickly see the top 10 pages at a glance. Fourth, do quick keyword research. Is this really the best keyword to target, or is there a better keyword right now? Finally, study page 1 competitors for best practices. Update your title for the best keyword, and improve your cover and snippet so teachers actually click and buy. Let's wrap this up by talking about why sales might be down. When a store gets stuck, it seems to be because of one of 3 bottlenecks. The first bottleneck is product relevance. Your old best sellers might not match what teachers need anymore. In that case, the best strategy might be to create the next wave of products instead of trying to force life into something that isn't relevant anymore. If your reading products are balanced literacy-based and the market right now only wants science of reading, no amount of TPT SEO will help because the demand has shifted. Sometimes the smartest move is to build forward and wait for the pedagogy pendulum to swing back. The second bottleneck is reach. You may need to bring your own eyeballs and not just rely on organic TPT search for page views. Some sellers have a big audience, some do not. If you already have tens of thousands of followers, your best strategy might be content creation. If you listen to your ideal customer avatar and make what they need right now, you might find creating new products that sell right away might outperform fixing old products that people don't want anymore. The third bottleneck is leaks. This is the bucket problem. You have good products, but you're leaking sales because of keywords, covers, product pages, and previews. If that's you, you don't need more hustle. You need bucket repair. That's exactly what we do inside of BOOTCAMP. I built BOOTCAMP because people kept telling me they felt overwhelmed and they didn't know where to start. If you're building or scaling up and you're tired of guessing, BOOTCAMP is where we do surgical bucket repair. We find the leaks, we fix the right products first, we track what happens. The next cohort starts soon, so if you want in, check the link in the product description. Quick bonus. In January 2024, Mandy from Education Adventures did a similar survey but with monthly ranking data. You've probably seen her infographic shared on Facebook. It looks like this. Mandy and I were chatting and she created an updated version of that infographic using the data from this 2025 yearbook survey. Some of you were asking for this information to be posted on Instagram. So if you go to instagram.com/Teacherpreneur Creator Club and click on data at the top, you'll be able to compare the January 2024 monthly design with the 2025 annual data. Cool, right? I'm going to be making more videos based on this yearbook survey data. Leave a comment with your lane if you're starting, building, or scaling up, so I know what kind of video to make next. If you want me to cover the boss levels like the top 1000 and top 100, tell me that too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.